Look, loving all you. I got this with a gang of hundreds. It's getting dumb blunted. Yo, yo. Yo, 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 yo. Welcome to Coming of Age. We starting a little early. Got a little nip in the background. Come on, get money. Told my mama I'm a gang bang graduate. Oh, come on now. Told my mama I'm a gang bang graduate. There we go. So passionate. Ever had me Slauson Ave. Speed signs to my savage. It's only temporary. iPhone 4 is a life on tour. That goes how far back? It's been a minute since this one came out. The iPhone 4 was in style. Trust funds for Armani. In case this life take me, I live it. Oh, demonstration. Should I be still gang banging? Check these shots. The marathon don't stop. Before I sell my soul, I give my life. We gonna get right. Hey, man, there's so many. I can go on for days and days and days and days on how much Jules Nip dropped in his music, man. That's crazy. But some that I'm gonna try to pride myself on doing every Wednesday when we open up this show, this Coming of Age here at Macam, is either I'm gonna put a song on y'all's mind that I've been bumping throughout the week that's just kind of been speaking to me and what I've been going through, or expose some new music that's going on in the city, man. Like, I'm a real big music head. I think that music is one of those things that unite us. So you can expect at the beginning of almost every episode of Coming to Age with me, you go hear some Nip, somebody from the city, just some kind of music. You know, it may not always be the what fits the uplifting or clean code, but I'll definitely break it down. But that song right there, man, it's just talking about persistence and going and just being on your mission. So that's big. But welcome to episode 2 of Coming of Age with E Huff, and here at Macam with Make a Culture Move. Once again, I'm dumb blessed to have this opportunity, to have this platform. This is honestly my favorite part of the week. I get to get up here and I get to chop it up. Oh, I already see some people tapping in. Shout out my cousin Monet. I hope you safe down there in Texas from all that snow. You know what I mean? They ain't winterized like we are. My boy EK, much love to you, bro. You know, you my guy, man. I'm happy to see you tap in. I hope you stay in this whole conversation because you're gonna be needed. Real quick, I want to just give a quick disclaimer. Anything I say in here is real. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming from the heart. I'm definitely got a level of vulnerability that I'm gonna leave out here. And if you got any problems with anything that's said, you know, there's gonna be definitely some things, maybe trigger warning. Maybe not in today's conversation, but you never know what's going to end up coming up amongst this discussion. So anything that's said, you know, that there might be something that might trigger you. And if you've got a problem with anything I say, you know, like my Uncle Phil says, you know, jump up in the comments, say something now, hit my inbox. Don't wait until you see me. You know what I'm saying? Get down where you mad at instantaneously. So that's whatever chair you sitting in, whatever you watching this. So please express your ideas, this whole conversation. If you got anything or any conversation where you feel like something was said that you do not enjoy, just go ahead and hit the comment. Shout out my boy Kiabu. Oh man, if you want to get in the room, just hit my inbox, man. But you are in the conversation right now. I'm gonna be very interactive with the comments. So if you got any thoughts after, you know, I give out my thoughts or just talk about the topic and you want me to pull you up on the screen, you know what I'm saying? You pop up just like that. You know what I'm talking about? You go pop up just like that for everybody that's new to this whole little platform we got going here. So once again, this is Coming of Age with E Huff, where we will discuss issues that young adults face coming to adulthood. Like I said in the first episode, I think that for the demographic of us 18 to 30, we're left out a lot. We're not too old enough to where you got to take care of your older people or be concerned about them, but then we also not too young to where we're still children. So we in that real middle. I feel like we real still caught in the middle. So that's his platform, is to have those conversations about that. And this is part of the Make a Culture move that we have here at Macam. So I always want to encourage you to head over to macam.org, make some donations. That's how we keep this thing going. We love your support in any way. And most importantly, just tapping in with us, having conversation, is always big. So today, man, I've been, if you this age, if you 18 to 20 or 18 to 30, especially 18 to 25, this is an age where the homies, the homegirls, they just start falling the hell off, like dramatically. We start seeing people, we start having our first kid about 18, 19, about 23, 24. We got some of us on baby 3, baby 4, and not even being stable. Some of us are still living at mom's with our dads or grandmas or something with no structure, no nothing. And I just been thinking about this over the past week, like, man, what is going on in this age range where we're just having such a difficulty, catching traction or getting into adulthood? And what I started to realize is that we as young folks, we have a really difficult time prioritizing. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about prioritizing in this phase of life. Because right now, what I'm saying, we're caught up in a space where we got all this freedom, we're fresh grown. You know what I mean? If for us that are outside of our parents' house and have freedom, we grown, we live it free. The world is at our fingertips. And how do we organize this world? You know what I mean? How do we choose which areas in our life right now are most important? And when I talk to my elders, the ones who I look up to, that are ahead of me, I always try to, ask them for jewels and stuff. And that word prioritize, have your things in order. It's something that just keeps coming up. So I got to looking at, what are the things we need to prioritize? So first I came up with like a little list, and feel free to jump in for all my viewers that are here. Anything I don't add on this list, please feel free to jump in the comments and leave it there. And then I'll bring it back up and we'll discuss it. I'll drop my thoughts on it. But here's just a small list of things that I think we need to be considering. Our education. I definitely think, and I'm not just talking about school, I'm just in terms of increasing your knowledge, increasing how educated of an individual you are. I think that's critical. Your health. This is when I think actually gets slept under the rug, especially when in today's era, we've been eating Takis since we was 9, 10, hot Cheetos, still continuing on. Drugs is something, we're part of the pill epidemic. Still, a lot of people our age are doing cocaine and all the harder drugs, and then we factor in marijuana, especially living here in Denver, where it's literally a part of our culture. So there's a lot of things that factor into if we are taking care of our health. And as young people, we got to start considering that. Finances, that is something that we should be stressed on a lot younger than just before we're 18, just that financial literacy part, but just really understanding as an adult how to pay your bills, how to budget, how to stay on top of things. I don't know if we're prioritizing that, but we should be. And then the last two, which we'll touch in mostly in today's conversation, I believe, and we're probably gonna break this into a 2-part because there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that can be break down here. But the last two is self-actualization and relationships. Let's dig into that, because I think right now, as young adults, that is the number one thing that I see in our era. Before taking the time to figure out our own identity, our own health, our own finances, our own everything, figuring out who we are, we were quick to go get in a relationship. And when you get on Facebook, I'm just seeing, especially, and I don't know if it's just a Valentine's season, and I guess it really falls into having this conversation right now, but just every time we hop on Facebook, you see one of the homies or the homegirls sharing some relationship oriented, whether it's a post where you see a man proposing to a wife, or you see a a family photo of a man and a woman and a group of children. You know, we as young adults, we fantasize being in a relationship so much to where we often will sit in a toxic relationship. I can't tell you first and foremost as a young man, throughout college, every one of my relationships except maybe one of them was crazy toxic. I'm talking. Oh, bang! I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. Yeah, we had some. Sorry, we having some Wi-Fi difficulties up here at the Macam workshop, but we back now. We back. Okay, so back to what I was saying. About those relationships. Yeah, we will sit in a negative relationship. We will sit in a relationship that's just purely toxic. We'll sit in relationships that are just outrageous. So yeah, as I was telling with my own personal anecdote, yeah, I was in all those kind of toxic relationships. I'll be the first to admit that. From 18 especially till I'll just be the truth, to about 22. I'm only 23. From my 18 to 22, definitely the relationships that I were involved in were crazy toxic, man. The whole checking the phones, being on each other's Instagram, seeing likes, and just not having security within each other. No healthy foundation. And when I got to look back as I started maturing through each and every one of them, because one thing that I think that we all fail to do is we don't take the time to learn from our relationships. And I I try to take the time to really try to learn from mine. And what I learned quickly is that everything I was chasing in a relationship was something I felt like I could gain something in that relationship that I was lacking on the outside. So in the beginning relationships, me and my mom, you know, when I was younger, first becoming an adult, our relationship was really shaky. Because the black people turn, I was smelling to see if y'all can still with my own mom. I was way more. I was not having a healthy relationship with her, and through that, I was super, 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 super concerned with trying to build a healthy relationship with a woman. And every time I kept trying to do that in my life, and and and, and it was just super unhealthy, and it was super toxic. And that's when I started. We heavily use relationships as coping. Let me see. We already got some comments flying. We pushing. All right, we back going, man. Anybody that's still sticking with me through all this technical difficulties, I really appreciate you. Yeah, the Wi-Fi in the building today is just iffy. Boom, we stable. We back going. We back going. I got all bars. I got all bars. Call the homies back and we back at it. I'm back at it. So let me tap back in. Oh, and I think I'm going back down. Oh, come on now. See right here. Trying to get this. Okay, I think we back. I think we back rolling strong. Somebody in with me. Go ahead and shoot me a thumbs real quick. Somebody come in the thumb with me if you can hear me. If y'all can hear me, somebody shoot me a thumb. Cause I think we moving real slow. Oh, we having some Wi-Fi troubles in the building. There we go. Okay, there we go. We back going. It's crazy, man. Sometimes when the Wi-Fi ain't working, just open the door. Okay, so we back in real quick. So, what said, black people will jump into a relationship and won't have no foundation. It's sad. That's real. But let's dig a little bit deeper though into that. Is what is that foundation that we're talking about? Because that's like the whole purpose of this conversation, and the whole purpose of this is like, what is this foundation that we are supposed to have that we're not having? Let's bring up. See, I think Wi-Fi going out. There we go. There we go. I'm trying to double check it on my phone, trying to make it work. But that's the purpose of this conversation. That, like I said, that foundation. KT said a lot of people get into relationships because they are afraid of being alone. I couldn't agree with that more, man. I think that also played a role into why I was getting into so many crazy bad relationships, is because I was 18, 19, 20, living 6.5 hours away. 6.5 hours away from town. So when you living that far away and you away from your family, and I think that you feel alone, not even if you just go to college, like that alone feel is something that is super common for people our age. Super common for people our age. See if I'm still, somebody shoot me some thumbs if you're still with me. Might be having some difficulties. Let me see. We're gonna try to restart this connection one more time. Boom. There we go. I think that's the last one. All right. Let's just hope God covers us and keeps us going again. All right. A lot of people get into relationships because they're afraid of being alone. Like I said, I was just saying, Smokes. I could not agree with you more, bro. That people are getting into these relationships because it's just hard to be alone. It's hard to be this age, and it's difficult. It's definitely difficult. So let's just tap into that next part though. Are we right? Are we wrong for prioritizing relationships this early in our life? Because I don't want to be that guy that jumps down people's throats immediately just because they've been in a relationship early. You know what I mean? I don't want to be that guy, because I've got some friends that are 18, 19 years old that are married. You know what I mean? Married with children, living a happy life. So I don't want to be that guy that's quick to demonize us Ooh, we are having some. But okay. All right, I ain't got no Wi-Fi problems now, man. If you've been rocking with me, man, let me know. Hit my inbox. For the 11 people that are here, man, tap into my inbox, man, and let me know if you rocking with me after this, because I got major support for anybody that's riding this connection wave. It's crazy. So, like I was saying before, and once again, shoot me some thumbs real quick. I'm trying to multitask. I'm trying to go and look on my own Facebook page to see if we rolling. And difficulties. But as I was saying before the interruption, for the connection interrupted me, it demonizes. I don't want to be the guy that, that says you early, we get in relationships early. If we do that early, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy. This Wi-Fi is crazy. Woo. Okay. This gonna be our last go around, y'all. We gonna try this for the next couple minutes. And if the Wi-Fi is quitting today, we might just have to push this conversation back another day, because it looks like our Wi-Fi is down bad in the building right now. I know my partners across the way are having a little bit of difficulty doing a little, trying to hit a little multitask here still to see how we look. Get this. Okay, shoot me some thumbs if you can hear me. You know what? Today, to be honest, y'all, it looks like our connection here is just a little too rough in inside the Macam building, to where I'm just gonna keep freezing and keep coming through. So we go table this conversation, man. I'm actually still really excited to provide this conversation and have this space, because I think we onto something in discussion, this relationship. So we gonna work on this modem and see if we can get something figured out for today. But I'm not gonna hold y'all in for a bunch of in and out and going and closing and going out. So, well, let me see. Can you shoot me some thumbs if y'all can hear me? Let me see. Can you shoot me some thumbs if y'all can hear me? All righty, there we go. I had to make some shifts, man. Okay, we gonna try this one more time, man. Like I said, to the 5 people that's watching with me, man, you major shout out. We just having some technical difficulties inside the Macam building. Okay, so now we back to where we was at. That being alone, I want to bring this part up one more time. A lot of people get into relationships because they're afraid of being alone. And like I said, I don't want to demonize, man, us young folks for getting in these relationships early. I don't want to be that guy, because what happens is when you start demonizing people for their choices early in life, you can really quickly push them out of the community. And I don't want to push those people out of the community. So I'm not going to necessarily be the person who says that I'm not going to be the person that necessarily sits here and says prioritizing relationships while you're young is a bad thing, because I know some people that are truly in some strong relationships right now at 18, 19, 20 years old, that feel that the relationship is going strong and feel that the relationship is going well and have a beautiful life and are happy. I just think it's important that we take the time to really find out what it means to be in a healthy relationship. And I think that a lot of the other areas that we've been discussing in this conversation and that we're going to discuss over this series is issues that will help you be more beneficial in being in a relationship. So I don't know. I see I lost a good amount of viewers just because of technical difficulties, but I'm gonna rock with who's here. Send your thoughts in. Let me know some. Is it a bad thing to prioritize a relationship early in your life? And I'm talking about from ages, let's just go from 18 to 23, 24. Because I think once you start getting a little older than 24, 25, as I'm starting to get there, you be really starting to think. So I'm gonna come back to this, but definitely if you are here, the question I'm asking is are we wrong at this young of an age for choosing to prioritize relationships early? And I mean sexual intimate relationships like a partner. So let me know y'all's thoughts on that, man. We got some time. So go ahead and hit the inbox, go in there. I'm gonna keep moving though. I want to go back to that idea of getting to know ourselves. How do we prioritize that? Because I think that has that's a big umbrella that kind of covers a lot of things. Because one thing my mama always used to tell me is you can't be with no woman married to her until you done took your own key, put it in your own door, be able to shut that door, take all your clothes off, walk through that house naked, pay your bills by yourself, do everything by yourself. Because she has always said that there is power within learning yourself and learning who you are when you fully take care of all your responsibilities and go and do everything for yourself. It brings this self-actualization. Gosh, that word is kicking my ass today. But self-actualization, it brings that to you. And I think that's one thing that's super guided me different than a lot of my peers is I've kind of always knew who I was. You know what I mean? I've had some slips, I've had some downsides, but no matter what, I've always had a good idea about who I was and like what I cared about doing. You know what I'm talking about? Like I always had that kind of figured out. So it just depends. Oh, Kiabe, I'm glad you popped in on this, bro. That's what I'm saying. Because Kiabe is one of my homeboys. You know what I'm saying? He has a beautiful family and he's been with his girl at least since high school, at least that I remember back. So he's a perfect person for this because he's an example of someone who did prioritize relationships early in his life and has been successful. Like, bro is an excellent father. He's an excellent role model in the community. You know what I'm talking about? I know the little kids around Bruce that know him. So this is somebody who has. So he says, depends on the circumstances. If you don't have any kids with that person, I can't really see a reason to put it as a high priority. Woo! That's preaching. But that's, you know, that gets us into another conversation though, bro, because it's like a lot of us, and then this is just a reality we got to face. And you know, I really honestly don't care if I offend anybody, but I don't want to offend nobody with this when I say this. But the truth is, and me included, so let's just, me, myself, this human being in this chair, are accidents. Babies, a lot of the time, are accidents. We young, we playing with body parts, we really just now discovering on how they work. Babies are accidents, you know what I mean? So sometimes, you know what I'm saying, we use these babies and don't realize that in that area of life, in that space of life that we were in, it was an accident. That doesn't take away from the fact that you love your kid. That doesn't take away the fact that you'll take care and provide and give everything. But having that knowledge of it being an accident really, really, I think helps with prioritizing, because it gets to my next point. A lot of people decide to prioritize a relationship with someone they had a kid at, even though it is non-beneficial, even though it may be with a father who is not healthy in his current state of identity for that kid, or a mother who doesn't have her things together for that kid. So even trying to prioritize that relationship within having children, that alone gets tricky. So it's really hard to say. And I think that's one thing that we're seeing plague our age group a lot is we're still trying to create a remedy for mistakes that have already been made, that are literally living, breathing, beautiful mistakes. I'm a mistake. My mama, you know, when she really gets mad at me, likes to remind me, you know what I mean? Just playfully, but I'm a mistake, you know, but she loves me to carry me, there for me. That don't take away anything. But she understood that she was in a space of life where you know, I'm talking about, things was, you know, wild for her. So she wasn't going to chase my daddy because it was never organic from the get go. And I think that's kind of what made you, though, unique, Kiabu, is that you and your girl been locked. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all been locked in for a while. So them babies y'all clearly had some different intention than what some of the other homies. My boy Smoke said, I feel like it's totally wrong. You know, I don't want to say it's totally wrong because I think Kiabu brings up a good point. And you should try to make it work. I feel like if you have kids with someone and you love them, but you know what I'm saying, that can't be the sole priority in your life, because that's even compromising. You know, you're coming to the compromise of other kids. But I definitely want to hear some more thoughts on that. But to push this notion of getting to know ourselves, it made me think, do we even know what that means? You know, and is that even the process? Because I think a lot of us think we know ourselves, or we think we can figure out what it means to know ourselves. But like, do we ever really take the time as young adults to really just sit down and process what that actually means to know yourself? What tasks are you supposed to complete to get to know yourselves? What people are you supposed to surround yourself with to get to know yourselves? Like, I don't know if we really ever really take that time, you know what I mean? Really ever take that time to sit down and really get to know, like, you know what I mean? Do we know ourselves? So I'm gonna leave that one hanging as well. So in conjunction for our viewers, once again, if you're just now tapping in to Coming of Age with E Huff, we're talking about prioritizing. We are talking about what are the areas in life that a young adult should be prioritizing, and some of the things that we've already listed out. And once again, this is in the comments. Feel like if I missed anything, jump in. You know what I'm saying? We talked about education. We talked about health. We talked about relationships. We talked about finances, self-actualization. These are the things that we listed. You know what I mean? One thing I want to dive into next to is travel. And one thing that Uncle Phil really pushes, matter of fact, I'm going to hold pause. I'm going to tap in real quick, see what Kiaba says. So much to say, haha, next time I got to chime in and be able to speak a few words. LOL, too much to type. Yeah, bro, tap in with, you know what I'm saying, or take the time to type it. You know what I'm saying? We still got about 28 more minutes left. So we ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? But I really want to bring up this next part before we circle back in and talk about those other two. Hopefully we got some more comments by then. Is this idea of traveling. And that's one thing Uncle Phil super pushes on us young cats here at Macam, is that if you ain't got no kids by the time you 18, 19, 20, focus on your relationship with God and focus on your relationship with and your focus on your ability to travel. And I remember that being preached to me when I was a senior in high school by my ex-girlfriend's mom, Miss Torres. Major shout out to her too. She was the first person that really showed me the world was bigger than the East Side. I tell people all the time, for me, the world was really, I mean, I knew life existed past Colorado Boulevard, but for most of my life, from Colorado to like Stout, that was from Colfax to 43rd was as big as the world was. That's just all I operated in. So like my whole thinking pattern, everything I believed, everything I operated was to not leave this community or feel separate from this community. And she took me to New York. She just told me about the beauties of traveling and everything. And that's when I started to realize, like, oh, okay, like traveling is something serious. And then I got to college and I got to travel around and ball, but I didn't really realize how powerful traveling was until I was like a senior in college on spring break. And that's when I realized, like, I was out there totally as an adult, separate from some kind of like authority above me, whether that be a coach, whether that be a parent or some type of guardian. And man, it's tough to explain. Like, if you're young and you haven't traveled, if you haven't gone somewhere with just a group of friends or by yourself, it's really hard to articulate just the kind of peace, serenity, and understanding and experience that you really gain from going out and traveling the world. Is crazy. But I just remember that was so impactful for me, because when I traveled to LA for spring break, I got to see Nip, and I was at his last pop-up shop, and like literally just happened to go to LA for that spring break, just happening to go there, running into Nip. That literally changed my life. Like, just that travel experience, it made me realize that the trajectory that I was headed on, doing stuff like this, working with the community, podcasts, all the great stuff I be on, it made me really realize that, oh, this is God's calling for me. Like, I'm not actually just doing this because I think it's cool. Like, no, God, you brought me here to see this man who I had been looking up to for years. And like he brought it in full circle. You know what I'm talking about? So that idea about traveling, man, that's a big one. I think that's a super big one. I love to hear somebody else's thoughts in the comments on like, how do you guys feel about traveling as a young person? Like, how essential is it for you to take some time to work on yourself, to go travel, go see the world, experience new things? Because I know one of our breakfast club, as we call it internally, with Top of the Top with King Philip, Uncle Phil, one of the people that we have come in, Tay, and a lot of y'all who may be watching who went to Manual, Tay's out here traveling the world. And Tay's like a super good friend of mine. And what I be seeing Tay doing is super dope, because I'm seeing her really get to know herself, experience new things, find out where she really wants to live, because I don't think she really be digging Denver like that. But just all the knowledge and experience that she's gained from traveling is just, it's just been amazing to her. So I'm just super thankful that she's out there, and I've watched it, see how it's changed her mindset and changed her thinking. So, you know, I think that's pretty dope. But yeah, I'd love to hear somebody jump into the comments and tell me what you think about traveling. Tell me what you think about traveling. Where do you want to go? Where's somewhere a young person should go? You know, because I feel like everybody should go to Los Angeles and New York, simply because they're so similar, but they're the two contrasts of the country. And then you can go to the South and all the other areas. But to really understand people, I feel like you got to travel, because, and especially to those places, because they're the polars, I feel like, of the country. Just to go out there and see the hustling spirit in New York. When I went to Harlem and seeing all those people walk up and down, it was crazy. Somebody tapping in, my boy Baby Swain, he said it's very essential, helps you grow as a person. And you, someone who can speak to this too, when you moved out of Colorado, the way you have ascended, you know, as a young man, has been incredible to watch. So I'm sure that is something you super believe in, that is super essential, because it does help you grow as a person. I'm hoping to travel for the first time by myself in a couple weeks, you know. Kiabe. Essential. Get out of your environment that you are used to. See everything different. Find other cultures, other vibes. Hit a festival. Every teenager or person 18 to 25 needs to hit a wild ass let loose festival. Boy, you damn near just put me in tears, man, because the most evil shit about COVID for me, besides just, of course, the family and everything, the serious stuff, but like on a much smaller, gentler level, is I've never been to Rolling Loud, never been to Coachella, never been to the ones that they throw in Long Beach or any of those cold music festivals. Your boy ain't never been to any of them. And that has been the one thing that's like super just trash about COVID, is the fact that our ability to travel and have community and have fellowship in these massive events such as that has been stripped away from us. So that is, I feel you on that. Shit, Rolling Loud, I've met and network with so many different people. That shit changed my life. And that's real. I'm glad you brought up a very big word, bro. Networking. And for any of the homies that's from the hood, you know what I'm saying? I always like to contextualize big words, as they say, or like academic words, into hood terms. Networking is the most powerful thing you can do as a young person. Like, networking, you do it in the hood. I done seen y'all who from Trey Deuce, from Trey, network with dudes from 83rd. I've seen y'all do that networking process, that literally that collaboration on, you know, whatever y'all be collaborating on. I ain't gonna speak on that, but it's just the fact of the ability to network. That natural ability is already in us, especially from the hood. You got to network to survive in the hood, because ain't nobody so big and bad, and I don't care who you are, because y'all know it's the truth. If you grew up in the hood like I did, and anybody else who really grew up knows, you are never too big and bad to where you can just move freely and you ain't got friends everywhere. It's just impossible. You may have a direct side of town that you might really have some problems with, but all the other sides of towns, you got to have some kind of plug or some kind of love in that space if you go exist. And the same thing translates to us in the business world or outside of the gang world, is that networking is real and you got to travel to do that. So just for the homies that's watching this that be like, oh, cuz I don't be networking or blood, I don't be networking or whatever. Like, you do be networking. You do network, but it's about thinking at it through a different lens. My boy Lafayette. Traveling is beautiful, and the people you meet is a real eye opener because it's something you're not accustomed to. So you start to see the world in a different perspective. I became more of a people person. That's for real. Anybody who knows Loft, that's said that because, like, bro, you're not shy. You know what I'm saying? You ain't never been shy, but being extremely expressive is not something that's always been your character. But ever since you went down there to school and start moving around and stuff, your expression and in your comfort in your expression has definitely grown. So I feel that and preach right here. Networking is survival, period. And networking is, you know what I'm talking about, to kind of swing this back to that relationship talk, because I want to kind of dig a little deeper away from just intimate relationships. I also want to dig to the homies, because some of y'all is out here over networking and prioritizing with the homies. And we need to talk about that. Is how essential is it to build relationships with your homeboys or your homegirls? Like, how important is it to build friends at this age? Because, oh man, this might really disturb some people here. So quick disclaimer, but I've always been a little worried and hesitant to mess with a young lady or befriend another homeboy who ain't got like a strong nucleus of friends. There's some circumstances around that. Like, if you moved a lot across the country most of your life and you ain't got no real boys or homegirls, I understand that. But if you just somebody who really ain't got no go-to homies, you really ain't got no go-to homegirls, that really bothers me, man. I just had to pause on it. That really bothers me because I feel like having strong, really locked in friends like boys or homegirls is survival. Like Hiabe said, it's survival. So it's like, how important is it to build strong friendships? Like, it's important to be isolated and focus on you, but I think it's super critical and crazy important to build strong friendships. So for the people watching, I got to hear something about that. How important is it for us to prioritize friendships? Not just relationships with other people, but prioritizing friendships, because a lot of the homies and a lot of the homegirls, you are prioritizing the wrong relationship with the wrong people. You know, I got some homeboys who, I ain't gonna drop no names, but they definitely prioritize a relationship. They definitely prioritize a relationship with their homeboys, one of their homeboys, more than they prioritize a relationship with the other. And when I bring that up, is because one homeboy may be really dragging him down, really getting them into business they ain't supposed to, getting them into jail, just having their mind completely messed off. But then when it comes to the homeboy that wants to uplift him, the homeboy that's going to correctly chastise them, the homeboy that's going to, you know, really pour life into him, they don't prioritize that relationship. Why is that? Somebody got to give me some answer to that. What's going on with your brother? I love to see you here. I love to see you here, man. I love to see you here. But yeah, I need somebody got to comment on that, man, because that's something we got to start talking about. Is how are we prioritizing our friendships? Is that healthy? You know what I mean? Is that healthy? Real quick on the travel note, you should make it a goal to travel outside of the country, immerse yourself in different cultures, increase your network globally. That's wise words from my cousin Tim. He's a little bit out of our age range for this convo, but that's real game. You know, he's done mission trips to India and a bunch of other places, but I know he went to India. But yeah, so that's big. But once again, if you just now tapping in, you at the back end of the show of Coming of Age with E Huff. We talk about all the issues of coming to adulthood for both men and women. And today we are talking about prioritizing. How should you prioritize? What are the things you should prioritize? And right now, what I'm really trying to push for somebody to give me their thoughts on is, how should we prioritize our friendships? Because I'm seeing that kill the community that I'm a part of, this young community, is that we got the homies prioritizing the wrong relationships. We go see what my boy DV said. It is essential because I use Lawsony, my boy Loss, much love, as a mentor, and he keeps me on the right track. But at the same time, you have to realize that we are growing and we won't communicate every day. That doesn't mean we have an issue with each other. I see that with a lot of people. DV, talk that talk. Talk that talk, DV. You know what I'm saying? That makes me bring up my boy Trayvell. I talk to Trayvell once about every 7-8 weeks at max, and this been my boy since I was a little jit. You know what I'm talking about? But me and him, we don't got to talk to each other every day. There's no need to talk to each other every day. He got a child, a soon-to-be wife. You know what I mean? He's locked in, and he's on a different kind of focus. So my desire and my need to talk to him every day is little. I know he's focused. I know he's handling his things, and there ain't no rough feelings there. And us as fellas, especially, I don't see that as persistent with females. And maybe I'm wrong, but with us as fellas, get out your feelings. Your homie got business to do. You know, he got things to handle, bills to pay. You know what I'm saying? We at that age. You know what I'm talking about, where we focused. And DV, you just hit a good point, man, is having a healthy relationship with the homeboy. You and Lou probably don't talk every day, but when y'all do talk in, it's locked in. We chop it up on what we should be talking about, not just nonsense, and then you keep it pushing. So, but yeah, DV, you brought up a crazy point, man. That is something we see in our age group bad, is that they be mad like, oh, I ain't heard from you and whatever, you don't fuck with me. It's terrible. You can't really have those relationships when after a while, when all those people start acting weird around you. See, that's a good point. Now, how are they acting weird? Because you know what I'm talking about. I have some people act weird around me just because I'm excelling, you know, and that's not to toot my horn, but I'm blessed that I serve a God who loves me and puts me in good positions, and I'm just around a good group of people. But for a lot of people our age, when you start seeing somebody climbing up and moving to the ranks, the homie starts to act weird. But I think the way we avoid that, to wrap around to what my boy DV said, I think the way we avoid that is we got to have healthy relationships. We have to prioritize healthy relationships. And Irma, that's what I figured that's what you was talking about, because I'm excelling. Yeah. It's you have to prioritize the healthy relationships. Like right now, pretty much everybody who I grew up with that y'all saw me around, because, you know, I think mostly everybody on here know me. The people that y'all saw me around, I'm pretty locked in with almost every one of them, but I'm really at a phase in life where it's like, if you're not pursuing a legitimate business, pursuing your faith that we have in line, not that I'm judging somebody for having a different one, but faith is a very touchy subject, and it should be for anybody who is, you know, religious or spiritual. But if your faith ain't in line with mine, and you ain't focused on business like mine, or you don't just bring some kind of value to the relationship, I'm kind of keeping my distance, man. Like, that's just kind of the phase of life that I'm in right now. Is just, if you ain't living in a positive way and walking in your own power, that I believe that God has given all of us, no matter what God you believe in. I believe that a God, my God in particular, but a God gave everyone individual powers that, you know, that make us unique and that we can walk in. If you're not walking in that power, I can't rock with you, man. It's just too detrimental to what I got going on and what the people around me got going on. So yeah, Irma, that's a big point. But we as young adults, man, I think one thing we can for surely conclude as a solution from today's conversation is making sure to prioritize the right homies. You know what I mean? Make sure to prioritize the right style and kind of relationships. Is that you got to mess with the people that want to see you win. And you got to mess with the people that are also want to see themselves win. See, that's another thing we have a problem with when we prioritize our relationships. Sometimes the homie that is gassing you a lot, telling you your idea is cold all the time, and just want to be a supporter in it, that's not the homie you need to be around. Sometimes you got to get around the homie that wants to be forceful in his opinion towards what you got going on in a respectful and helpful manner. The homie that is walking the walk. You got to be around those people. Period, point blank. You got to be around those people. So that's super big. Once again, you have tapped in with E Huff with Coming of Age, where we discuss issues that that are challenging for people coming to adulthood. And for the past 50 minutes, well, I'm gonna be honest, we're like 37 because 13 minutes of it was connection issues. But for the past 37-ish minutes, we have been discussing prioritizing and what are the critical areas in your life that you need to prioritize. And the ones that we've really dug deep in over this past hour has been travel, has been valuing what kind of relationships. So we've kind of all come to a consensus that traveling is something super big. So, we want to push that upon our friends. You know what I mean? Whenever you leave this conversation, what I'm saying, hop on YouTube, watch it again. If you want to see some jewels, go to the Make a Chess Move YouTube page. But think about that. Think about how you pushing your homies to travel. You know what I'm saying? Think about how are you pushing your homies to want to have healthy relationships? How are you ensuring that the relationship you have with your homeboys is good? You know what I mean? It's all these things. So let's get some closing thoughts. You know what I mean? Anybody that's left and that's still here, what are some closing thoughts? What are some final things? I know for me, some final things I want to take away from this conversation. I want to throw this back up again that Kiabu said. Networking is survival, period. Networking is something you got to be essential, and that kind of falls in the long of all of them, is that every relationship you do is some kind of form of networking, and making sure that is in a healthy space and in a healthy way is something super big. Let's wrap around on travel. My boy Loft said, traveling is beautiful, and the people you meet is a real eye opener because it's something you are not accustomed to. So you start to see the world in a different perspective. I became more of a people person. That's super good to sum that up. Super good. You really hit the head on that. At the same time, you have to realize that we are growing and we won't communicate every day. That doesn't mean we have an issue with each other. And I see that with a lot of people. That's big, man. That's super big. So yeah, at the end of the day, we gotta remember as young adults is we're forced with a real difficult task here of trying to figure out this whole life thing, what I'm talking about. And I think honestly, that's cool. We got some good stuff down the stretch. I just want to close out with a few bright ideas if we can. The connections I see on my phone, it's not messing with us. Okay. It's not messing. See. See if I can do another reboot for the closing. Boom. I'm back. I'm live in action. Okay. One more time. So we go close up. Man. We're just talking about just really want you guys spread the word about this about Facebook Live we got going. Spread the word to our people, man. This is a space for authentic talk. It's not just gonna be me. I actually can guarantee you this is the last week. It's just gonna be me up here. We're gonna start having other people come in. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this a couple minutes early because the Wi-Fi is it's out of line on me today. I'm gonna make sure I got the Ethernet cable. You know what I'm saying? That Ethernet. So I appreciate y'all who came out, support, see me this Wednesday. And we'll be back at it next Wednesday, 12 o'clock. Might have a new topic, might follow up on this. We go see, you know what I'm saying? But make sure to go follow us on Instagram. And we rocking and rolling. Appreciate y'all.